Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're going to be ranking all of the existing combat patrols. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so we got a lot of new players in Warhammer 40,000. We've also got a lot of existing players looking to start a new army, so we're going to go through and rank all of the combat patrols. We got about 24 of them currently out, so just about one for every faction. But essentially the main ranking that we're going to be going on this is not going to be necessarily value, but more composition. We're not going to be looking at exactly how many points are in them, comparing like how much money you're saving. We're going to be specifically saying like, if you buy this combat patrol, how much of what comes inside is going to be actually useful in the game and desirable to somebody starting a new army. So let's start off first with Combat Patrol AST Militarum. Alright, so the Combat Patrol AST Militarum, you're going to get one Cadian command squad. You're going to get two 10-man Cadian squads. You're going to get one Sentinel, which you can build as either variant. And then you're also going to get a squad of the field guns, which you can build as like the various different field weapons. So I think overall this is a pretty good box. It's definitely a nice starting core for AST Militarum. Now it would be nice if there was a big tank or something like that in here, as obviously they're focused on like the big chunky units. But that being said, it's a lot of models and it's a great start to an AST Militarum army. You're definitely going to be running two 10-man Cadian squads. You're definitely going to want at least one command squad. Sentinels are excellent. I would probably go with the Scout Sentinel. And then for a little bit of indirect fire, I would probably go with a bombast field gun. But obviously you're going to need some heavy hitters to get rolling on like a bigger game. So you're probably going to want to focus in on Lord Solar Leontis to give you like the bonus command points and all the orders. That would be the first thing I would add to the army. And then obviously either some Rogel Dorns, Lehman Russes, or something along those lines. But overall, I would say this is a pretty nice combat patrol. And I'll give this one a 7 out of 10 for composition. All right, and then next we have Combat Patrol World Eaters. So you're going to get a Chaos Lord on Juggernaut, or you can build him as Lord Invocatus. You're going to get 20 Khorne Berserkers, and then you're going to get 10 Jackals as well. Honestly, I think this is a phenomenal combat patrol, probably one of the best. Because realistically, there's not a ton of combat patrols out there where you would necessarily just want to buy 2 of them. And I think realistically, if you're going to go in heavy on Khorne Berserkers, this is one where you could potentially buy 2. You've got the optionality on how you build your Juggernaut Lord. Lord Invocatus is really good. But I would say this is an excellent combat patrol. If I was going to buy this and then expand on that, I would just buy a few boxes of 8 pounds and then Angron. And you're basically on your way to a 2,000 point army. So overall composition on this box set, I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Excellent combat patrol. And then next we've got the Leagues of Votann. So again, really nice box set right here. It's got a lot of diversity in it. You've got the call that you can build 2 different ways. You've got the Berserks, which are excellent. You got 1 squad of warriors and then 1 squad of bikes. Everything that you would use in a big 40k game. If you were looking for 2,000 points, this is an excellent start. Realistically, you could definitely buy 2 of this box set. Build your call, 1 as Uthar and 1 as a generic call. And you would use all of this in a 2,000 point game. Now, if I was going to expand on this combat patrol, or if I picked up 2 of them, I would definitely want a couple of Sagittars, a couple of land fortresses, and then probably a squad of Jaegers as well. There's also a lot of other good stuff. You could go with the Terminators, you could go with the exosuits, but realistically, 2 of this is awesome. I'm going to give the Leagues of Votann box an 8 out of 10 for composition. All right, and then next we've got Chaos Demons. So Chaos Demons is kind of a mixed bag right here because the actual Chaos Demons combat patrol is all Khorne units. Typically when you see Demons players building out like a 2,000 points list, you're going to take a little bit of the best from like all of the different Chaos Gods. So you're not really going to want like an all Khorne army. Now it doesn't mean that it's not going to be good. So you're going to get 1 of the Blood Masters. You're going to get 20 of the Blood Letters. You're going to get 10 of the Hounds. And then you're going to get 3 of the Blood Crushers. So realistically, pretty nice composition. Now the real question is, do you want to lean in heavy on Khorne, or do you want to have a mixed demon army? Now, if you lean in heavy on Khorne, things like the Ren Masters are really going to benefit because they only buff other Khorne units. So you could definitely buy 2 of this box set and have an excellent starting army for demons, but you're probably going to want to add in some other demon stuff as you go. Everything in this list I would 100% use in a 2,000 point list as long as I was playing some Khorne. But I think realistically, the next thing I would buy after one of these boxes is a Bloodthirster. You're going to want the Greater Demons. They are excellent in Warhammer 40,000 for demons because they're what does the most of the killing. Now that being said, for the other Chaos Gods, a lot of like the cheaper chaff and like the battle line units and stuff doesn't have like the killing potential. But with Khorne, that's actually different because everything in this is going to be doing a ton of damage. So realistically, if I was going to buy this box set and I was going to go all Khorne or mixed demons, the first things I would want to get is a Bloodthirster Greater Demon and then also a Ren Master. But realistically, you could buy 2 of this box set, 2 Bloodthirsters and 2 Ren Masters and be well on your way to a full Chaos Demons army. So normally I would give this an 8 out of 10 because it's an excellent box, but realistically, most people probably going to be playing mixed demons. So we're going to give it a 7 out of 10 because it is all corn. All right, and then next we've got Combat Patrol Eldari. So you're going to have 10 Guardians, you're going to have 1 Farseer, you're going to have 6 of the bikes, and then 1 Wraithlord. So overall, pretty good box. You're definitely going to be using Guardians, you're definitely going to be using a Farseer. Most armies have at least like 1 or 2 squads of bikes, so that's not bad. The Wraithlord is maybe not like the most optimized choice right now. Probably something like a Warwalker is going to show up more in the majority of Eldar lists. You're also not getting any of the tanks or anything like that. But this is definitely a nice start to an Eldar army. Would I buy 2 of this box set? No, I think there's too many bikes in it and too many Wraithlords. You could probably run 2 Guardians and 2 Farseers and not be mad about it. But realistically, I'd much rather have some of the tanks, some of like the elite units, an avatar, etc. So great start to an actual army, but I don't think it's worth buying 2 of them. I would probably get the avatar as my next purchase because he's awesome. And then I would probably lean in on some of like the heavier tanks, maybe the fire prisms or falcons, wave serpent if you want some transports. Warwalkers are excellent. I would definitely want some of them. And then I think realistically, maybe it's just my thematic opinion, but I definitely think you need some aspect warriors, some striking scorpions, some swooping hawks, warp spiders, etc. So I'm going to give the Eldar box set a 6 out of 10. All right, next we got the Combat Patrol Grey Knights. So this one's got a Librarian, 5 Terminators, a 5-man strike squad, and then also a Dread Knight. So the Grey Knight's range is relatively limited, but the truth is everything in this box set you're going to use. You also have multiple ways that you can build almost everything in this kit. So you could build the regular Terminators or the Paladins, you could build the Strike Squad or the Inceptors, and then you could build the character version, Grandmaster Dread Knight or regular Dread Knight. And overall, everything in this box set you're going to use in your army. So realistically, you could probably buy 3 of these and use everything in a 2,000 point list, and you would almost have like a meta army. You almost always see Terminators with like 10, 20, or even 30 Terminators in a list. You almost always see 3 of the Librarians. You almost always see 3 of the Dread Knights. And then more often than not, you're going to see at least like 2 of the Strike Squads. So based on actual composition in this list and what you would be taking for like a meta, like top tier Grey Knights army, I think you could buy 2 or 3 of these and basically use everything in the box set for an optimized list. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. This is pretty much perfect. All right, and then next we have the Combat Patrol Thousand Suns. So you're going to get 1 Infernal Master, you're going to get 20 Zangors, and then you're going to get 5 of the Scarab Occult Terminators. So I think my big issue with this box set is that you don't get any Rubric Marines. Most people are going to run like 1 squad of Zangors or potentially the Cultists. You typically see like either no Terminators or maybe like a 10-man brick of Terminators. Infernal Masters are excellent. Most of the time in a top optimized list, you're going to see like 3 of those, at least 2. So overall, pretty nice box set, but just too many Zangors in it. It's a good starting point for your army, but you may find that as you expand out, that you're probably only ever going to be running like 10 Zangors, and you may be running 5 or 10 Terminators, you may be running 0. So good starting box set for 1,000 Suns. You're definitely going to want some Rubric Marines. You can buy 1 box of those and have 2 squads of 5. And then obviously you're going to want Magnus because he's phenomenal. Probably going to want some of the characters like Ahriman or some of the sorcerers either on disc or on foot. So overall good box set, but just too many Zangors in here. And sometimes you don't run any Scarab Occult Terminators. Realistically, most optimized lists are not running Terminators. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 10. All right, and then next we have the Combat Patrol Drukhari. So starting off, you've got 1 Archon, then you've got 5 Incubi and 10 Warriors, and then you have a Ravager and a Raider. So 1 transport and 1 gunship. You could potentially build 2 transports, but realistically, you're going to want 1 gunship and 1 transport. This is a great starting box set and arguably one of the best that's out there. Most optimized lists are going to be running at least 2 each, 1 of the transport and 1 of the gunship. Most are going to be running at least 10 Kabalite Warriors, sometimes 20. And then right now, the Archon and Incubi combo is absolutely phenomenal. A lot of times you'll see people running like 20 or 30 Incubi with either 2 or 3 Archons. So I think this is a phenomenal box set. You could totally pick up 2 of these and have an amazing start to a Drukhari army. You're probably going to want to run some of these special characters like Drazar or Lilith, as they are absolutely phenomenal. You're probably going to want a couple of like the smaller little gunship transports as well. But realistically, you could definitely pick up 2 of this box set or potentially even 3 of them. Add in a couple more Incubi, maybe some Witches, some of the smaller boats, couple characters, and be fully set for a 2,000 point army. So again, this one is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 9.5. I think this is probably the best Combat Patrol out there. All right, and then next we got Combat Patrol Death Guard. So you're going to get 1 Typhus, who is a unique character. You're going to get 7 Plague Marines and a Biologus, and then you're going to get 20 Poxwalkers. So good box set to start off with. Definitely to use everything in here in a 2,000 point list. But realistically, because it has a legendary character, which you can only run one of, and because it has 20 poxwalkers in a box set, I definitely wouldn't recommend picking up 2 of these. Realistically, most armies are going to have a bunch of Plague Marines. You're going to want some Plague Burst Crawlers, maybe even pick up Mortarion. You're going to want some of the other like various Death Guard characters. And now the Terminators are absolutely phenomenal. There's definitely viability to run like 18 of the Terminators at this point in time because they just got a point strap and they absolutely slap. Would I buy 2 of these? No. Would I buy 1 if I was starting out with Death Guard? Definitely. I would immediately add in some of the Terminators, some of the Plague Burst Crawlers, and then probably like another squad of Plague Marines, maybe a couple Rhinos. So overall, good box set for 1, but definitely not 2. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video.
All right, and then next we got the Imperial Agents. You're going to get an Eviscer Assassin, you're going to get a Priest with the Eviscerator, you're going to get 1 squad of the actual Imperial Agents, and then you're going to get 2 squads of the Arbites. The cool thing about the Arbites is you can run them different ways. You could put them all with shields, you could have them as like the mixed kill team, or just your base level squad. Most armies going to have at least 2 of them inside, probably 3 or more. The Agents are definitely a staple of the list. The Priest is okay, and then realistically, you can only ever have 1 Eviscer Assassin in your army, but you're definitely going to want to take him. So great box set to start off with. You're going to need something that can actually kill, though. Most of this stuff is not going to do a great amount of killing. You definitely want to build the Agents with the Multi-Melta. You definitely want to kill a key character with the Eviscer. But the lack of an Inquisitor in this box set definitely hurts. And then also the fact that you get multiple of the same squad rather than getting maybe like 1 squad of Breachers and 1 squad of Arbites makes it so you probably don't want 2 of this box set. But I do think it's a great start for an Imperial Agents army. I would immediately probably pick up Canis Rex, maybe a couple of transports. You're definitely going to need like some of the various Inquisitors, some of the other Assassins. So good box set. Agents are not particularly competitive at the moment, but Breachers are really good and there's none in this box set. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. All right, and then we have the Combat Patrol Gene Stealer Cults. So right off the bat, you're going to get a squad of the Jackals, including the little Wolf Quad. You get 2 squads of the Acolytes, 10 of them in total. And then you've also got a Ridge Runner. So depending on what detachment or what you're going to be going with, all of this is definitely a viable force to get started with. The Jackal Office is going to give some nice abilities to the actual Jackal squad. You're going to be able to do a little bit of punching up with the quad and then stacking some AP or putting some heavy weapons on the Ridge Runner. Probably going to want to go like all hand flamers with your Acolytes. So overall, pretty nice box set. Could you pick up 2 of these and have a nice force? You definitely could. Realistically, you could go 3 if you're leaning in on the actual Jackals. You're probably not going to want to run 3 Jackal Alphas, but I could totally see 2 in the list. But I think realistically, probably picking up 2 of this box set, grabbing a box or 2 of Gene Stealers, and then definitely some of the Goliaths. You could run them as Rock Grinders or as trucks, and then you're going to need a couple of like the actual characters as well. The Brood Coven is not a bad box, as it's going to give you like a couple of other characters that you can join in. And then you're definitely going to need a couple of Neophytes, probably at least 1 squad of 10, if not 20. But overall, pretty nice box set. You would definitely use everything in here in a 2,000 point list. And depending on what detachment you're going with, you could easily buy 2 of this box and be in a good spot to get started. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Overall, excellent box. All right, and then next we have the Adepta Sororus. So you're going to have 1 Canoness, 10 Arco-Flagellants, 10 Sisters of Battle, and then 1 squad of the Sacrosanct. Everything in this box set is really good. You're definitely going to be running the majority, if not all of this, in a 2,000 point list. You could realistically split up the Arco-Flagellants into either like 2 smaller squads or even 3 and then leave 1 model at home. You're definitely going to want a Canoness in there and some of the Sisters. Probably not going to want more than 1 squad of Sacrosancts. You could potentially run 10 of them in a bigger list and pick up 2 of this box set. But I think realistically, 1 of these is the perfect sweet spot. And then you're going to want to stack in some of the Seraphim and then some of the battle tanks. I would definitely be running like 1 or more Castigators, 1 or more Immolators, and then probably at least an Exorcist, maybe 2 or 3. So great starting point box set right here, but realistically, probably not going to want more than 1 of these. So we'll give the Sisters of Battle box a 7 out of 10. And then realistically, depending what route you want to go, I would for sure be running Morven Vol and some of the Paragon Warsuits. I personally would be running Celestine and then some Seraphim as well, probably 10 of them. And then the Triumph is absolutely phenomenal, great model, and excellent in game terms. So probably start off with this box set, add in a couple tanks and some characters. All right, and then next we have the Chaos Space Marines. So you're going to get 1 Infernal Master, 1 squad of 5 Possessed, 10 Legionaries, and then 10 Cultists. So pretty good start, nice model count. There's a lot of different ways that you can take a Chaos army, but I think realistically you could definitely run all of this in a 2,000 point list. The Infernal Master is probably not the best choice. The Possessed are pretty good, but maybe not amazing. I would probably rather have like some Chosen, or definitely be adding in like 5 or 10 Chosen into a bigger army. Gonna want some Rhinos, gonna want some Chaos Lords, probably on foot, as they are absolutely phenomenal. A couple of battle tanks is nice, maybe a Predator or something like that. So overall, pretty nice box set right here. Probably not gonna want 2 of them. I think the first thing I'd be focused on is Chaos Lords, Chosen, and something like a Predator or 2 that hit hard. So overall, great box set. I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. All right, and then next we have the TOA Empire. So you're gonna get 1 of the commander battle suits, which you can build as like the various different commanders. You're gonna get 1 squad of breachers or fire warriors. You're gonna get 1 squad of pathfinders, and then you're gonna get 1 devilfish transport. So excellent box set. It's very rare that you see a 2,000 point TOA army, even an extremely competitive one, that doesn't have everything inside this box set. Sometimes you will even see a 2,000 point list with 2 of this box set in here. I definitely think you build the breachers, you put them inside the transport, you use the pathfinders for your guiding support, you put in a couple squads of suits to back up your commanders, and then you're probably going to want something like some ghost kills or riptides, maybe some stealth suits. So overall, I would say excellent box set. You could definitely buy 2 of this box set, but you're going to want to add in some more of the suits, because they're what does the majority of the damage dealing for TOA Empire. And then realistically, with the Christmas box set coming out that has another commander, a riptide, a broadside, and a ghost kill, this would pair really, really nicely with that. So I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10 for composition, as this is a great start to a TOA army. All right, and then next we have the Adeptus Custodes. So you have 1 Blade Champion, you have 5 Wardens, you have 3 Terminators, and then you have 5 Guard. So excellent composition. Almost every army you see for Adeptus Custodes is going to have everything in this box set in it. The Blade Champion is awesome. You pair him with like 4 Wardens or 5, and you have no problem slapping here. You also have the option to build 1 of each of the models from the 3 different units as a character. So that gives you a lot of extra diversity. Almost every list you see is going to have everything from this box set in it. Realistically, you could definitely pick up 2 of this box set. You would probably end up leaving a couple of Terminators at home for like a massive optimized list. You maybe want to throw in like a Dreadnought or 2, maybe 1 of the Grav tanks. But realistically, this is an amazing start for an Adeptus Custodes army. I think if you buy 2 of this box set, you're probably going to be leaving a couple of Terminators at home, but everything else you would be using. You maybe want to grab up some of the Sisters of Silence for some low cost like backfield objective holders. But realistically, I think you pick up 2 of this box set and you are on your way to a really nice 2,000 point Custodes army. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. All right, and then next we have the Orcs. So this one is definitely very much themed into like the Beast Snagger aspect, which is kind of limiting. But you got 1 Beast Boss, you got 1 squad of Squighog Boys, and then 2 10-mans of the Beast Snaggas. So pretty nice box set for Orcs to get started with. As long as you don't mind the Beast Snagga aesthetic, I really like it. I think it's awesome. But realistically, probably not going to want 2 of this box set. It is a good starting point for Orcs, but realistically, the Orcs need transports and vehicles, which this is definitely lacking. You're almost always going to see like 1 or more trucks, some battle wagons. The kill rig is absolutely phenomenal. Mega Knobs are still pretty good. Gazkul Thraka. So realistically, nice box set to get started with, but definitely not going to be getting more than 1 of this. I think your first purchases after this box set is probably Gazkul and a couple of Mega Knobs, a truck and a kill rig, and I think you're well on your way to a 2,000 point list. So we're going to give the Orcs a 7 out of 10 because it is specifically Beast Snagga themed. Still a great box, but definitely not going to want multiples of this. All right, and then we have Adeptus Mechanicus. So you're going to be led by a Tech Priest Manipulus. You're going to get 5 of the Sterilizers, which can alternatively be built as the other kit. You're going to get 3 of the Sulfur Hounds, which can be alternatively built as the other kit. And then you got a 10-man squad of Rangers, which again can be built as the Vanguard instead. So excellent starting force right here. You're probably not going to be able to do much actual damage, especially as you get into bigger games with this stuff. A bunch of Flamers right here is definitely going to take care of infantry. You'll be able to put a couple of special weapons on the Rangers. The character's going to give some nice buffs. The Sulfur Hounds are quick, can tie up something important, but again, not going to be doing a ton of damage. I think realistically, you probably want to buy 1 of this box set. It's an excellent start to an army. You could definitely pick up 2 of this box set and not be leaving anything at home. But then after that, you definitely need some big damage dealers. Probably some like the Iron Striders for either shooting or combat. A couple of Disintegrators to actually like pick some stuff off the table. and then probably something like breachers and then doom crawlers as well, so you can actually dish out some damage. So great box set. You can definitely pick up 2 of these. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. All right, and then we have the Necrons. So first you're going to have an Overlord to lead the force, 1 Doomstalker to hit hard, 3 of the Scorpek Warriors for a little bit of close combat, 10 of the Necron Warriors, and then you're going to get 3 of the Scarab Swarms as well. So great starting box set right here. I think realistically you could definitely pick up 2 of these and you'd be in a good spot. You're probably going to want to add in a Catan, maybe a Monolith or something like that, some heavy destroyers, but I think definitely you pick up at least 1 of this box set, maybe 2, and then you add in some of the more like specialized Necron units, some of the characters, Catan, etc. So I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. Great start to a Necron army and potentially pick up 2 of these bad boys. All right, and then we have the Tyranids. So first we have the Wing Prime, then we have the Psychophage, we have 3 of the Leapers, 5 of the Barb Gaunts, and then you have 20 of the Termagants, and then a Ripper Swarm as well. So definitely a nice little starting force. Depending on what detachment you run, some of this stuff is probably not going to be optimized. You're going to need some of the big bugs. You don't often see the Barb Gaunts run. The Psychophage is definitely not like the most optimized choice. I think overall, pretty good starting force right here. First thing I would pick up is probably something like a Hive Tyrant and then some of the other big bugs, depending if you're going more combat or more shooting. I would definitely go with a Hive Tyrant, probably a Tyrannofex with a Rupture Cannon. A Maliceptor is an excellent choice. Lictors are extremely good right now, and of course you're going to want 1 of the compulsory Biovores with Spore Mines. So decent starting set right here. I would say overall though, some of this stuff is less than optimized, so I would give this one a 6 out of 10. All right, and then we have the Combat Patrol Space Marines. So you're going to get 1 Terminator Captain, 1 Terminator Librarian, 5 Infernus Marines, and then 5 of the standard Terminators. So pretty decent starting force. This one actually performs pretty well in Combat Patrol. You could definitely run this in bigger games and not be leaving anything at home. So pretty nice starting force right here. You could choose to attach either one of the Terminator characters onto the Terminator squad. I would probably put the Captain on there first because you're going to get to reroll charges. And then he's got a nice little meat shield to make sure he's doing a bunch of damage. The Librarian can operate on his own, deep striking in, scoring secondary objectives. Infernus Marines are going to help you deal with cheap chaff. Terminators are going to help you deal with like heavy infantry or vehicles. And then from there, it really depends on what detachments you're going to be running or what type of army you want to run. Blade Guard are very good right now. There's a ton of really good special characters for Space Marines. Things like Gladiator Lancers, some of the various Dreadnoughts, or some of the other heavy battle tanks will definitely be some optimized choices. I almost always use 1 Infiltrator squad in my Space Marine army, at least 5 of them. Space Marine Scouts are extremely good. I almost always run 2 squads of 5 Scouts. You're going to want at least 1 squad of Inceptors to score some objectives and kill important things that are hidden back where you can't normally get to them. But overall, there's a lot of different ways you can go with this army. Jump Pack Intercessors are extremely good right now. But I think overall, there's a pretty good starting force. Composition-wise, even though the actual value in this box set is not great, I probably wouldn't even buy 1 of this box set, let alone 2. I would just buy the individual models that I like, as you can basically get them for the same price, as there's no savings inside this box set. So I think composition-wise, I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. But just as a note, the value in this box set is extremely bad, and I definitely would not recommend anyone ever pick up this box. All right, and then next we got the brand new Blood Angels Combat Patrol. So I think this Combat Patrol is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to get 1 of the new Captain. You're going to get 10 of the Assault Intercessors on foot, which can be potentially built as Death Company. And then you got 2 3-man Sanguinary Guard squads. So absolutely phenomenal box set right here. You could definitely pick up 2 of this box set and use everything inside. You could build some Death Company Assault Intercessors or all just regular Assault Intercessors and you'd be in phenomenal shape. You could easily run 2 6-man Sanguinary Guard bricks. Blood Angels have some phenomenal characters. I would definitely want to pick up Dante, maybe even some of the Death Company with jump packs. If you're going to go that route, I would definitely put Lamartis in here as well. You could add up some backline shooting support, some infiltrators. There's definitely a ton of different ways you can go with this. But as always, I would put 5 infiltrators and 10 scouts in my army. But I think realistically, picking up 2 of this box set, if you're going to lean in on the Sanguinary Guard, is a great choice. If you're not going to be running multiple units of Sanguinary Guard, you pick up 1 of this box set, a box of scouts, a box of infiltrators, and then some serious damage dealers, either shooting or combat. Excellent box set. I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. All right, and then next we have the Black Templars. So you're going to get 1 Marshal, 1 Crusader squad of 10 men, 1 squad of 5 infiltrators, and then 1 Impulsor transport. So really nice box set. One of the few boxes that still has a vehicle inside. I think this is a great start to a Black Templars army. Realistically, you could definitely pick up 2 of this box set and be in a nice spot. You're going to want a little extra damage dealing, mostly doing it in combat here, but I think something like Grimaldus and or Helbricht are excellent choices. I think realistically, if I'm starting off Black Templars, I'm picking up 2 of this box set, Grimaldus and Helbricht, and you're already on your way to like a 2,000 point list. As always, I would put in a squad of 5 infiltrators, a couple squads of scouts, but overall, excellent box set. I'm going to give the Black Templars a 9 out of 10. Next, we have our Space Wolves. So you're going to get 1 battle leader, you're going to get 5 of the Reavers or Hounds of Mordecai, you're going to get 10 intercessors, and then 1 Invictor Tactical Warsuit. So overall, pretty nice box set right here. Definitely not optimized. And you definitely don't want 2 of this box set because there's no way you're going to be wanting to run 20 infiltrators. Most people playing Space Wolves are going to be running a bunch of Thunderwolf Cav, so that's the first thing I would pick up alongside this box set. You also have some really nice characters. So I would definitely put in Ragnar with some Blade Guard, maybe a transport. I would definitely put in Logan either on foot or with the Thunderwolf Cav. And then you got to have Bjorn the Fell-Handed as well. So not a bad box set to get started with, but definitely not optimized. First choice would definitely be to add in Logan and then 6 of the Thunderwolf Cavalry. It'll get you on a nice start to a Space Wolf army, but overall composition here, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. And then last but not least, we have the Dark Angels Combat Patrol. So you're starting off with a Gravis Captain, you got 3 Blade Guard veterans, you got 5 Hellblasters, and then 10 Intercessors. So pretty nice start to a box set right here. Again, as always with Space Marines, you're going to want some scouts to do actions. You're going to want some infiltrators to lock down your home objective. You're 100% going to want Azrael inside of here, and then probably some Inner Circle companions, and of course some Deathwing Knights as well. The Lion is really good right now. And then of course we have that Dark Angels Battleforce box coming out for Christmas, which is absolutely phenomenal. So I think you pick up 1 of this box set right here, and then 1 of the Dark Angels Battleforce boxes, and you have a beautiful start to a 2,000 point army. You're probably close to like 1,500 points. So you pick up this box set, you pick up the Christmas box, you pick up Azrael, and then you fill out the army with a couple of scouts, a squad of infiltrators, maybe a battle tank, but overall phenomenal box set. You could do 2 of these, but I wouldn't recommend it. You're also going to kind of have the Gravis Captain hanging out on his own unless you put in some other Gravis units. Now he's not bad to use on his own as he is pretty durable, but realistically most of his durability comes from attaching him to a unit. So he is a little bit out of place in this list. So I think probably you pick up 1 of this box set, 1 of the Christmas Battle Force, and then you drop Azrael inside of here, and then you go from there. So overall, pretty nice box set. The Gravis Captain is a little bit out of place, so I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10, mostly because there's just too many intercessors in this box set, and the Gravis Captain can't join a unit. But the Christmas box set is absolutely phenomenal, and you pick up 1 of that box and 1 of this box, and you have a beautiful start to a Dark Angels army. All right, so that is it for all of the existing combat patrols. Obviously, they change over time. We'll have some new ones coming out. We'll have some of the older ones getting redone. But I think overall, the combat patrols in general are a great start to a Warhammer 40,000 army. Some of them are packed with value, some of them not so much. But realistically, you can't go wrong picking up any of the combat patrols. And one of the best things to do to make sure you're not buying a bunch of stuff that you're not going to use, look at competitive lists, things that are winning tournaments. And you don't necessarily want to copy those lists, and you're not going to do as well with them, but they'll at least give you a guide as to what other people are using and what's working. So let me know what you think of this combat patrol breakdown. Now, obviously this breakdown is focused on composition, not like savings or value, which varies completely from the actual composition itself, as some of these boxes are a really good deal and others not so much. Let me know down in the comments what you think of these. If you have any questions or you're thinking about building an army and not sure which direction to go in, always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products. And make sure to tell them that Warhammer Man sent you. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.